What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Culture Popped Season 2, Episode 16. And tonight, my friends, we have breaking news. Fandom has been found dead. Taking a moment of silence. Moment of silence.
And we're
All right,
back.
that's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're back. And we're back. So tonight I'm here with Drew. Our Alberto Magnifico is busy working on some comic book stuff, so he's going to be sitting this week out. But we'll have him back soon enough. But Drew, how are you, man?
Hi. I'm doing all right. I'm doing fine. So apparently I did catch the con crud. It took some time for it to quickly develop in me. But,
okay, I'm wondering if I have like the slightest little case of it because I haven't really coughed or anything, but I've had the like dry throat, kind of like little congestion. So
yeah, for me, like it started off as a sore throat, and then it quickly progressed, made its way upward. So upon that happening, I started just pretty much doubling down on Zicam, pretty much as much as I can every day, and I think I'm on the upswing now. So hopefully by my birthday, I should be feeling better. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Yeah, turning the big 4-0.
Yeah. Yay.
So if you have boobs, DM Drew.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, I've already sent mine in, so he's good there. And he also blocked me on Facebook, but it's fine. We'll allow it. Drew, we've been pretty freaking busy the past week, man. Like, I mean, we have our day jobs, right? Day jobs. And then Friday night we streamed with Max. Saturday you streamed with Wes. I worked. Sunday we streamed with Max. Last night we streamed for Marvelous Monday, or recorded, I guess I should say. We're streaming tonight. We have a stream that we're gonna do tomorrow. We have a separate secret phone call that we're also gonna do tomorrow. I don't know. We're gluttons for punishment. We'll sleep. I guess we'll sleep when we're dead, right?
Absolutely. I think it was Johnny Cash that said that. Yeah. I'll be plenty of time to sleep when I'm dead, and I like that. I like the fact knowing that I'm much busier now, approaching 40, than when I was in my 20s or 30s. I like that, and hopefully, I like to think my best days are still yet ahead of me, and hopefully I'm right.
I'm glad you're optimistic. I'm like, well, shit, everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
You have to. You have to. I mean, I try to be, because I mean, if you're not, your days are going to be hell of a much longer. You're not going to be fun to be around with.
True.
It's going to be miserable.
I will say, the older I get, the more confident I get, the more self-aware I get, and the more I just don't give a shit. So I'm like, I don't care what people think. I like this. I'm going to do it. And I will say, as I'm getting older, I feel like I'm making some of the best friends in life that I've ever had. So that helps.
Absolutely.
Yep, gotta make it gay a little bit since it's June. But oh yeah, speaking of, happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. We should have had some type of like gay little clip to play, for Pride.
Clips of like pride parades and everything. Just
something, like I mean, something kind of gay to just, here, we'll just do this. How about this?
Who wants to hang out in a blanket fort with grown men in tiny underoos? Hello!
I love Community. So we do have a pretty decent show, I'll say, tonight. I think we're gonna have a lot of good conversation. We spend a lot of time talking about how media is getting ruined and shows aren't good and all this stuff. So we're gonna touch on a few things tonight, and then we're gonna kind of spend some time talking about what we think needs to happen to bring fandom back to movie theaters, to comics, to whatever it might be. So I'm kind of interested to dive into that with you and kind of get your takes. But first, let's head on over to these little comments section and see who all's here. We got Rudy in the house coming in with first, and indeed he was first. We've got Cajun Corey, the power of one, the power of two, the power of... Dude, Aaron's not here. You got to say Drew. Did you like how I made that rhyme? That's right.
Not bad.
We've got Ian in the house. Hello, sir. We've got Max Von Priestley. Breaking news. Breaking news. I gotta, yeah. I gotta say, Max is kind of coming in clutch for me. Like we're doing the stream Sunday night, and then he busts out with the like, "Oh, hey man, so it's at my comic shop the other day, and I know you're looking for like Spectre, and then he just pulls up 2 Spectre number 1s, and I'm like, what the fuck? I hate you and I love you all at the same time. So, anyways, Max is doing me a solid, and he's been doing some dumpster diving for me. So I'm gonna, throw him some money, but I'm kind of broke, so I might have to throw in a handy for him as well. We'll figure that out at some point. Who knows? It's June. It's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be June.
We've got Zax, Joshy. What's up, Zaxy Poo? How are you? Raphael Ponce is in the house. Oops. He said, "Sup, homies." What's up, Raphael? Oh, now he's calling us man babies. So you know what? I might take that back. I take it back. What a hoe. JD Petty, this sounds like Nietzsche's deal. I absolutely bet people will think it's a good thing when it's not. Yeah, I mean, probably. Let's see who else is here. We've got Andrew Gonzalez. He says, "Sup? What is up, Andrew Gonzalez?"
Oop.
And soup. They're saying get Drew's alternate mic. Are you talking about the microphone, the one that he has to wear when there's issues and it sounds like he's got a lisp? Do we like Drew with the lisp? Is that lispy Drew?
Stupid son of a bitch. Yeah.
It's not. I need to pull clips of you when you have that mic and it's got like that slight little just at the end of all your words, all your consonants. It's great. We have Cannoli Sasquatch in the house. He said, "Hello, sexy." What's up, Cannoli? Cannoli, I think y'all did MMM over Lion King last night. Was it Lion King? So I'm sure AJ was there and, talking about Nala's F me eyes. But yeah, Fear Monarch, lost on the air. And I know he'll be back soon, guys. He's just super busy right now. Life happens. And oh no, we've got Nosferatu in the house saying, "I have a super gay clip for Josh. I don't know if I trust that link, but if any one of you other people want to click it and let me know what it is, I'll appreciate you for it." JD Petty, last night I watched Return of the King in a theater. I didn't see it in theaters when it came out, so it was a wonderful and extended experience. Well, Drew would have been sleeping and drooling on your shoulder if he were with you. And then
So
Max
true.
Max would have been sitting on the other side of you with a boner. So
Just
pick your
hearing
poison.
What the hell's that sound?
What is that sound?
Yeah. I know they're giving Sam the love me eyes when he's in bed, but wow, are we really going there?
Frodo. That or Max is just watching it like when you're a kid, like 4 or 5 years old, and you're watching something, you're totally into it, so you're just sitting like Indian style on the floor, and you're like,
yeah,
just that's probably Max watching Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
We do have Gooch in the house. He said, "Yo, what's up, everyone? Stopping by to say a quick yo, back to you, sir."
Yo.
I believe he might have a stream tonight as well. So, after you watch our stream, go check out Gooch. Actually, just go check out Gooch's stuff in general. He's got good stuff. Same with Zach's. Go check out their shows. And we've got our favorite Italian mama in the house, Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch, giving kisses. She likes to give those kisses out. Sassy hits her her peak time in June every year, and I haven't caught a single one of her Sunday live streams live because I've been doing something else. I was either this past Sunday in honor of Father's Day, she moved it to Friday. So 2 Sundays ago we were in Dallas. This past weekend we were on Max's stream, so I didn't watch. I had to catch the playback, but maybe this Sunday I'll be there for
was
her.
Was it already 2 weekends ago? Dallas was?
Dude, yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Yep. It's just time's flying.
Yes, it is.
Time is a flying. And I think that is pretty. Oh, we got Cope in the house. He says always trust a NOS link. Look, It might say YouTube or it might lead you to 2 Girls 1 Cup. I can't tell you for certain. But
Josh, you bring up an interesting question there. How many people would you say younger than us have actually legitimately seen Two Girls, One Cup? Because that came out almost 20 years ago at this point, maybe 15 years ago.
I think it's been longer than that. Like
Oh my god!
I think that came out like I feel like that came out while I was in high school still. So, I mean, I guess yeah, maybe.
Yeah, how many kids have legitimately seen that? I know they probably heard it, but how many of them have actually watched it?
Well, we're trying to get Roman from Roman of the Empire to give it a nice little watch, but you know he won't do it. So shameful. And Copa is saying it's a gay clip, Josh, but it's not Folsom gay. Okay, so you know maybe there's some hope there that it is not too terrifying. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kind of get into tonight's topics. So we do have a few updates, and look, some of these things that came out we covered recently on Max's show in depth, so I don't want to retread that and say the same shit that I've already said already. So if you look at my description, we've got the link to. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to put the link to Max's show. Anyways, go find it's been a day. Go find Max's channel, MVP. Check out his latest episode of Max's Man Cave because we talk about stuff like what's the Lord of the Rings animated movie coming out? The something of Rohirrim. He's gonna put it in the chat in a second. He'll correct me. But we talked about how they decided to focus on a chick and make it lame and gay. So you know, there's that. We talked about what could go wrong. We talked about Blade losing its director. You know, we had a little conversation about that. I that could be a good or a bad thing. We'll see. But there's been a lot of conversation about Blade because of Blade losing his director. But there's also a separate conversation about Blade that came out this week. And Drew, have you heard anything else about Blade other than the Blade film losing its director? Did you hear anything else about Blade?
Just from the Marshall Ali's agent or his lawyer or whatever, just saying like how he's never seen anything like this before. And
oh yeah, you know, I mean, it's
hilarious.
Hollywood. You've seen shit like this before.
Yeah, probably, but still, the fact he publicly came out and said that, it's like that's not looking too good for you, Marvel. That's not.
No, I mean, yeah, the optics of all of it is really bad. But it looks like we might get some Blade sooner than we thought. Like it looks like Blade might be appearing in another film.
Oh,
and it looks like that film might be Deadpool and Wolverine. Ooh. Now, before you get too excited, this is just a rumor based on a picture, and if it is Blade, it's not a Blade that any of us I think really care to get because it looks like it might be
the Sticky Fingers.
So some new stills came out for Deadpool Wolverine, and this picture in particular caught a lot of people's attention because clearly you've got Wolverine and Deadpool here. But if you look in between the Blade the series photo and the Deadpool, we get probably the best look we've gotten of Ray Park as Toad. And then if you look really closely behind Wolverine's head, you're going to see Juggernaut's helmet. So it looks like we've got Vinnie Jones coming back as Juggernaut. But the thing that everyone's losing their shit about is this black guy in a trench coat. And look, I get it. If it's Marvel anything and you put a black guy in a trench coat, I think you're going to think Blade. Fair?
Or Black Tom Cassidy because, hey, he's a black guy. And... Yeah. No, I'm kidding. But no,
you killed
right.
Black Tom, you racist.
But no, I mean, it very well could be Blade Sticky Fingers version, which is look, that is legitimately his name. If you're watching this, you're like, why is he saying that? That is his name.
He's a rapper, right?
Yeah, he was a rapper. I will never forget reading that name over 20 years ago at this point, I think in Wizard magazine, and they're saying like, yeah, the new series on Spike starring Sticky Fingers as Blade. I'm like, wait, that's his name? What? Why? Okay. Yep. And sure enough, it didn't last that long.
Nope, not at all. Did you ever watch an episode of that show? No,
never.
I didn't either.
I couldn't.
I mean, I'm kind of. Go ahead.
No, I kind of, out of curiosity, I want to check out an episode or two, but I know I'll be in for disappointment because, look, I mean, they can try whatever they want. They'll do whatever they can, but Wesley Snipes will always be Blade. Christopher Reeve will always be Superman, and he will always be Blade.
I mean, that's fair. I accept that. Yeah, I don't know. I think if they're gonna stoop to pulling, Spike series Blade, it was Spike, right? He was on Spike Network. Yeah. Spike series Blade for this. I think it's fair to say it's gonna be cannon fodder pretty quick. Like
if it's Spike, we'll probably get Stripperella next. We'll probably get Pamela Anderson show with Stripperella.
Did she ever have a Marvel? Was Stripperella ever like Marvel adjacent? Marvel?
Well,
connections?
she was created by Stan Lee, or co-created or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I thought it was funny that so many people were getting excited about this because I was like, there's really nothing to get excited about.
Yeah,
that.
If anything, I'm like, those of us who lived through this, we're like, are you sure? Yeah, please, no.
Well, you're gonna have those people that are always just gonna be like, "Oh my god," about whatever they see in trailers, and
oh my god, did you actually see it? No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, they're gonna have Blade, and I was assuming Wesley Snipes, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yes,
and then I saw this, and I was like, the fuck? Are we even sure that's Blade? Which we're not. But
no,
look, I'll give people credit. I understand why they're saying it. We'll see, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Blade either. But
I'm trying to think of like what other mutant, or I mean, most of these characters are mutants. What are the mutants who are black, wore a trench coat in the comics? I mean, none really come to mind. Exactly.
Yeah. Same.
Maybe
I can't
Bishop.
think of any, yeah,
maybe, but no, he did. But I don't see that being Bishop.
I can't see that being Bishop. And actually, the actor that's kind of standing behind the poster for the Blade the series. There's talk that might actually be the actor that played Bishop in Days of Future Past, but it was hard to tell, and he had like a red baseball cap on. So, who knows? Yeah. I think, look, we know we're going to get a shit ton of cameos in this. I think most of them are going to be there for a minute or less. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, it's cool. Kind of do a key jangling, but not necessarily in a bad way. I think if you're ever going to have something like that, this is the movie to have it in. But
yeah.
I'm
looking forward to seeing Ben Affleck Daredevil again. So perhaps however long it is.
Let's do it. We do have Lady G in the house. Her hand. That's the Lord of the Rings animated movie that I can't remember the name of. Yeah. We also have Nosferatu. A PG-13 Blade was always destined to be doomed. I don't care how good the actors are. So it's supposed to be rated R now. So we'll see. But
we'll see. Yeah.
Excuse me. I look. The best news, the best recent news of these Blade updates that came out shortly after the writer's strike was that they hired Michael Green, the guy that wrote Logan, to completely start fresh on the script.
That is good.
That is good. But now they have Eric Pearson doing touch-ups. And what did Eric Pearson work on? He worked on Fantastic Four. He worked on Black Widow. Yeah, Black Widow.
That's even worse.
He worked on Thor Ragnarok, which
that's even worse.
Yeah. Well, not Thor Love and Thunder, but still.
Well, hopefully it was the first half of Thor Ragnarok and not the latter half.
Yeah. So, we shall see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath anymore. We do have Corey Cajun with "Oh God, I hope that's not Blade."
Another great point. Like we would know if it was Blade if he had the shades on or not, and he doesn't have the shades on.
He doesn't have the shades on, but he wouldn't wear the shades sometimes in the series. Like when I was pulling up pictures to try to find the poster, like half the pictures from the TV show, he didn't have the sunglasses on. So I was like, "What the
strange?" Okay,
it is strange. Look, what I will say is if he is Blade, I hope Ryan Reynolds calls out like, what the fuck is this Wish.com fucking Blade? Give me Wesley Snipes, Yeah. Now something like that could be fun. That could be worth it, but we'll see.
Next thing you know, we're gonna find out you have a fucking daughter. What the hell? When the hell did this happen?
Oh, and she's first billed in your own film.
Yeah.
JD Betty said Javane Dargan is seething. So JD, did Javane hate this series? Is that something he hated? I would like to know. And if you don't know Javane sometimes joins Wes for Wes's show, but he's been busy with his own business that he started and hasn't been on for a while. But super chill guy, super good guy. And Nosferatu, isn't Ray Park the guy that played Darth Maul? He is. He played Darth Maul, and then I think it was like a year later is when he did X-Men and played Toad. So
And Snake Eyes.
Copa put black guy in a trench coat. I think Matrix retarded. Poor AJ. You know, poor Abomination AJ. What did he do to he did plenty to deserve this. We got IJP Mexican in the house. What's up, nerds? What's up, brother? How are you? And let's see if there's any good comments here. I'm still trying to think if there's anyone I'm missing. That could this possibly be a race swapped version of somebody instead of a
Like Tom Cassidy.
I mean, that would at least play off of the second film well. So
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna put my money down that it's Black Tom Cassidy.
Watch it end up being Black Tom Cassidy. I'd take it. Why not? But yeah, so anyways, that's out there. And then kind of keeping on the Deadpool train. We were gonna talk about this last week, but we ran out of time. But you know, last week there were reports that Taylor Swift is not in Deadpool and Wolverine. The director says so it has to be true, right? It has to be true.
No director has ever lied in the history of mankind about cameos or characters or actors being in film or not being in the film. This never happened, of course.
Never, especially in the MCU. They are always honest with us. Like, they didn't lie about Tatiana Maslany being She-Hulk. Never.
Yeah.
They didn't lie about Charlie Cox coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home. They didn't lie about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Yeah, she's fucking in the film. Like, come on. We know this, right? We know this. If she's not...
And we know, as soon as the movie comes out, Hot Toys is going to be announcing a Taylor Swift Dazzler action figure where she's rocking that 70s suit with the roller skates and everything. And it's going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. She's in it somehow, some way. Like, the rumor's been that she's Dazzler. Gosh, that rumor was
100% perfect casting.
It is. This was something too that started as a rumor before the writer strike that was kind of like under the surface, and then she started showing up at the Super Bowl with Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman and Blake Lively, and then it really kind of kicked
Deadpool in the film.
Yeah, yep. And then everything kind of kicked into high gear at that point. But yeah, it seems pretty much a given. So, you know, we see what you're saying, but we're calling bullshit. That's as that little kid goes, bullshit, bullshit. Oh, Max said that the black guy looks like a race swap Bullseye. Huh.
Why? Because he's bald?
Maybe. I'm trying to see if he's got a goatee.
Or the crosshair etched into his forehead.
Is he also going to do a race swapped sex tape like Colin Farrell did while filming Daredevil?
Oh, there we go. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Oh, Lady Graves said it's Earth 3000 Silver Surfer.
That makes sense. There we go.
Yeah.
Good about him.
And yeah. And then hey, Nosferatu says, can we all agree the best superhero of all time is Elektra? Yes, but only Jennifer Garner, and only Jennifer Garner from her Elektra movie, not Jennifer Garner Elektra from Daredevil. It's got to be the Elektra movie.
Elektra movie, yeah. And
yeah.
Not the Daredevil TV series Elektra, whatever the hell that was. That was not Elektra.
I mean, that was closer to Elektra than Jennifer Garner, though. At least she was like a little crazy.
Yes, I'll give you that. She was crazy. Yes.
So, Josh strikes me as being in the Swiftler youth. Is that what the hell is the Swiftler youth?
Part of the Tadoff Switler youth. Tadoff Switler youth.
Okay. Yeah, you know, you might be on to maybe Possibly. Who knows? I don't know this Tadoff Swiftler. I'm like, Jesus, someone's gonna clip that. I'm gonna get fired from my day job. Like that's how it's coming. It's a joke, people. Laugh. Hey, look, it's the IJP American, and he's a race swapped version of himself, and himself is the IJP Mexican. Wow, we're living in a multiverse, guys, right now in this moment. Crazy.
Man, it's like that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal when he has his enemy, that movie Enemy, where he has his twin and there's like a giant spider in there for no reason. It's like what the hell is going on here?
By the way, IJP, when are you gonna do an Indian handle? IJP Indian. When is that happening? And if you missed the circle of jokes where IJP used an Indian accent to speak Spanish, it was freaking great. But yeah. Oh, look, see, I knew Max was sus. I know we say Gabe is sus, but Max, I'd watch anything with Colin Farrell in it. Anything. So we're gonna assume that Max watched Colin Farrell's sex tape for Colin Farrell. Is that how I'm understanding that?
That's what it sounds like.
That is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just Drew, next year when we get ready for Dallas Fan Expo, just whenever Max is like, hey, what are y'all doing? We'll be like, I don't know if we're gonna get to go this year, so sorry.
Yeah. And he'll be like, this is something to do with the Colin Farrell sex tapes?
Yeah, and we'll be like, maybe.
Yes.
And then Aaron, who's out of the loop, will be like, what? I just told Max I'd room with him. JD Betty put Daredevil superior because Evanescence soundtrack. I mean, little old me back in junior high used to blast that shit. I don't know if I was in junior high or high school. Oh, it's junior high. It was junior high. I used to blast some Evanescence in junior high. I have no shame in admitting that.
They were popular. They were popular.
They were popular. All right, let's keep going. Let's go past T Swift again. Let's get past
Tadoff Swiftler. Yep.
Yeah, Tadoff Swiftler. And okay, so Sean Levy, who's directing Deadpool and Wolverine, there's now talks of him potentially directing Avengers 5, which was supposed to be Avengers Kang Dynasty, but now isn't Avengers Kang Dynasty. Oh, hold on. Max, I'm really sad that Kyle isn't here right now, because if he were, I would look at him in the chat and go, check. Anyways, so the rumor is that they're talking to him to direct Avengers 5, because it looks like they're so happy with what he's doing with Deadpool and Wolverine. It looks like, we had the joke that Deadpool is Marvel Jesus and that this film's going to save the MCU. I don't know if it's going to save the MCU as a whole, but I think it's going to make a shit ton of money at the box office. Do we think this is potentially a good idea, or do we think this is just Marvel trying to grasp onto whatever they can that's positive right now?
Well, I honestly think if we compare this move compared to the prior moves of the last 2 to 3 years, I see this as a move it's not a big move in the right direction, but it's a small notch in the right direction. At least with this director hiring Sean Levy to do this, you're hiring someone who does have credibility. He does have success behind him, whether it's directing or producing. You look at his filmography, it is fucking massive. Everything that he's produced to what he's directed. I mean, there are some stinkers in there, like the Pink Panther movies with Steve Martin. No one wants to remember those. But
wait, Sean Levy did that?
He produced them. I don't know if he directed them, but I know he produced them. But films that he's directed, some of them were pretty good. I mean, some of them, they weren't box office hits, but they were good. Like, I mean, Real Steel was a good film. Date Night was a pretty fun film.
Yeah.
And yeah, there you go. But
he did the last Deadpool movie. So he did Deadpool 2, which was I mean, people have their opinions about it. I thought it was fine. He did Fall Guy, which kind of came out of nowhere and was way more popular than people expected it to be. So yeah, and I do think he's actually getting better as a director. I think he's kind of, getting a little more comfortable and in his groove. So yeah, why not? And if you're gonna do a blockbuster, why not get a guy like this to come in and do it? And there's already all the rumors going around that they are tapping shit. Now I can't think of his name. The John Wick director for Blade. Crap, this is gonna piss me off now.
All you got to say is, John, if you get any of the directors, any of the stunt coordinators involved with the Blade film, I'm there. Because hey, you're telling me, okay, this is going to be an action-centered film. That's how it should be. And to be perfectly honest with you, those guys, everyone behind the cameras of the John Wick franchise, they should be helming Daredevil. They should be helming Blade. They should be helming all of the street level characters, because those should all be action-packed, centered shows. And so yeah, hopefully this really does turn to be a smart move. But right now, I see it as a better move in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're not getting a nobody that did this random like indie film that no one's ever heard of.
Who hates superheroes, doesn't like superheroes at all.
Right.
Only read maybe an Archie comic 25 years ago.
Of course.
And, yes, which was their move 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And these no names who wanted nothing to do with comic books, and telling people, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't want we think that's great. We don't want anyone involved with comics who to do a project with this. It's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? No, and but yeah, I really do think this is a move in the right direction. They're really seeing the error of their ways.
Yeah,
How Sean Levy do this? But with that being said, after finding out Avengers 5 is going to be an ensemble piece with over 60 fucking characters in it, and not really a set team, it's like.
So that's supposed to be Avengers 6. Like this is the
6.
film. Yeah. So Avengers 6 is supposed to be Secret Wars. This is the one that was supposed to be Kang Dynasty, and then you have the Jonathan Majors of it all, and no one caring about Kang, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania sucking donkey balls. So now whatever Avengers 5 is quiet. We don't know anything. We'll probably find out at either Comic-Con or what's Disney's
D23.
D20, yeah, whatever it is, D3, D23, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. I need a beer at this point, but yeah, look, I think it's stuff, steps in the right direction, and we'll see. Now, what I will say that I'm certain of, and like 100% absolutely certain of, is that I'm about to be dropping some money on this mofo.
Woo, man.
Yeah. So Hot Toys released their Wolverine figure that's coming out for the Deadpool and Wolverine film, and this freaking looks bomb.
Gorgeous.
I know we've had a lot of conversations about like, oh, I'd never spend money to buy toys from the films, specifically Max, but this is so close to the comics and so respectful of the comics and that costume and how it looks. Plus, it's Hugh Jackman, and I think we all kind of dig Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And this freaking figure looks insanely good. So
yeah, honestly, this is the two figures I have loved the most, that have been the closest from page to screen for me, have been this Wolverine and the Ben Affleck Batman from BVS. Like you want to talk from page to screen? Holy shit, that is it. And the fact that they are actually giving us the mask, you get the mask version, you get the maskless version. I'm there. And what would be even cooler, Josh, is if they did a limited number edition of like the brown and orange costume.
Oh man. Okay. I'm actually wondering now, because I think we're supposed to get 4 different Wolverines in this film. So we know we've got this one. We know we've got the patch one that we saw the behind the scenes shot of. I'll be curious to see what the other 2 are, but if we do get the brown costume, that could be worth it, man. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay. I'm about to spend so much freaking money. So much freaking money.
But no, I love this Wolverine. This is the Wolverine we've always wanted. This is the one like we talked about. They made jokes of in the first X-Men film. Were you expecting yellow spandex? Well, you know what? 24 years later, we finally got it.
We finally got it. And look, if I'm being honest, I think back in 2000, if we got yellow spandex, it probably wouldn't have worked at that time. But
Absolutely
no.
not. Absolutely
Now,
not.
like, bring it on. Like, let's take it. I do want to shout out Codeman, Sean Levy. He put Sean Levy can definitely handle. I agree. I think Sean Levy can. So I think it's a good fit, and he's done enough that he would be capable of handling a blockbuster, and that's a completely different feat on its own than just trying to deliver a good film.
Yes.
We also have Jana Banana in the house. She's got sup boners, and then who let Nas in this chat? Sorry, Jana. He broke through my firewall and everything else, and then just started. Somehow he magically got a wrench. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
Gatekeepers are slacking.
Fear Monarch put Frank. Oh shit! It helps if I click it. Frank, hide the comics. There's girls here. There sure is girls here. Oh, Jana. The dishwasher needs emptying. Well, looks like you got to leave the chat. Sorry about that.
Yeah, get to work.
Get to work. I'm just kidding. We love you, Jana. We love you. Sean Levy did do Cheaper by the Dozen in 2000. There's so much crap that I didn't realize he did. This is what happens when you don't research the shit you're talking about before you go live. We're professionals.
Well, if you look at his filmography, he's done a lot of comedies. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. And I think that was a modest hit. I don't know. I know it wasn't a big hit. I know it was. They got a sequel out of it. But
I feel like it was a solid hit for a family comedy.
Yes. So yeah, it would be interesting to see him make this transition to superhero action films from Cheaper by the Dozen. Agreed.
But yeah, this Hot Toys figure I am definitely looking forward to.
You get the battle damage version. You get the arm with the sleeve, the yellow sleeves. It's amazing. Everything that comes with this damn thing.
You get the premium one where you can actually have Hugh Jackman's face instead. But I'm going with the mask. The mask looks too good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here. And I know like you said, that if you spend enough, you can get both heads. But like, I would love to find out that Hotflix says, the mask version sold the most. The mask version sold more than the others.
Oh hell yeah! I hope so. I hope so. But Drew, do you think this is enough to save the MCU or save movie theaters or whatever it might be? Like, do you think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to deliver that for us?
It's a step, but not a leap.
Fair.
I would say it's a step in the right direction. I would say really, I mean, what I would say one thing that would help. Well, two things that would help. One is both Ryan and Hugh, and maybe the director, getting out there before the movie starts, telling the audience, "Hey, thank you for coming out here to watch the film. We appreciate it. We made this film for you because we love you, the audience. We want everyone to come. This should be a theatrical experience. We want everyone to be here, like what Tom Cruise did with Top Gun 2. Like thanking the audience for being there, and we wanted you all to enjoy this theater-going experience. And I want them to do something like that. And the good word of mouth, as we know, that is tried and true. As long as that good word of mouth is there, they will come. And I really think those two factors will make this a huge box office hit.
For sure. I mean, I think the fact that you have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds kind of together doing this alone was going to deliver a good box office. But if they can actually deliver a quality, solid film that's fun, I mean, that's what this really needs to be, is fun. I think sky's the limit with what they can manage. Looking specifically at the MCU, how much goodwill do you feel like needs to be built in before people start trusting it again? Like, if this comes out and it's a hit, what else needs to happen before people start trusting the MCU again?
Honestly, I would think it's being true to the characters from the page. Honestly, it's Kyle.
We got Kyle, not Kevin, with Comics Elite. Like manna from heaven, Marvel is saved. All is forgiven. All is forgiven. Blessed be thy name.
Well, despite what Kyle thinks, no, not all is forgiven. It would honestly take the characters to be not ridden out of character like they were originally, like the last 10, 15 years in the films, changing them drastically from how they were originally presented to now. That will really dissuade audiences, people from going to the theater to see them, and telling them and focusing on characters that people really do care about, not Agatha Harkness. Who gives a shit about Agatha Harkness? I don't understand why Marvel would pump millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars into a show like that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, look, I will be the first to say I loved her in WandaVision, but that does not mean she should have her own show.
I don't.
Hello?
I honestly want to know who gave her the idea for her own show. I'm still flabbergasted by that. Honestly, I'm still floored, flabbergasted, and dumbfounded by that. Dumbfounded by the idea that someone said, you know what? We should give her her own show. People will tune in for that. What? I really wish I could have been there, flying the wall in those meetings.
Oh yeah, I mean, this got greenlit and started when they were pushing we need more Disney Plus content. Disney was, so you know, and it's one of those things. Like I guess when you're to a certain point in filming, yeah, I guess you can shelve it, whatever you want to call it, and get the tax write off like Warner did with Batgirl. But I think you're not going to get your full money back, and I think they might see that there's potentially more money in just letting it happen. I also think it's a situation where they're like, well, if we're going to revamp, we need to have some things to air. I think it would have been fine if they went through a small little like break, but to each their own. So, but yeah, so I do think, if we're going to get back to where we trust the MCU, we're probably going to have at least a good 5 films that are good.
Yes. Good. Yes.
Like and not just like, all right, yeah, I guess it was fine, but they have to be good. And if we can get 5
good films with modest budgets, not insanely out of control budgets, with coherent stories, beginning, middle, and end, keep them sub 2 hours, hour 45 tops, and yeah, you should do well. Work on that.
Yeah. Do you think Captain America 4 Brave New World is going to be one of those films to deliver the good?
Absolutely not. I honestly, just the sheer fact they're introducing Juan Carlos Esposito in at the last minute as a new character and a new villain in the film out of nowhere, I am all the more concerned about that, on top of all the rewrites and filming scenes without scripts. Honestly, it sounds like an absolute total nightmare. And honestly, just finding out that there were filming scenes without a script, it reminded me of the scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where Jason Biggs and James Vanderbeek are talking to each other because they're dressed as Boltman and Chronic, and one guy, I think Biggs gets the names wrong of the characters, and James Vanderbeek's like, he's like, "Fuck, did you even read the script?" And he's like, "Wait, what? There's a script? You're telling me? Wait, there's a script?
What? Who writes script these days?" Yes. What if I were to tell you, that we had these recent, the most recent news that came out where they announced that, they're reworking the story, they're reworking the script. What if I were to tell you that a certain director duo brothers, also known as the Russo brothers, now have producer credits on the film?
Honestly, anytime I see all I know is, like, going as far back when I was a kid, watching the Batman films, knowing that Tim Burton was a producer, I'm like, oh, you had nothing to fucking do with the film. Okay, got it.
Right.
And that's honestly, when more often than not, when you see someone's name attached as a producer, that means jack and shit. It's very rare when you see a name. The 2 names I do know who were back in the day very involved in their films were John Peters and Gruber. Those 2 producers. I do know those guys were always on sets that they were producing. Yeah. Or Joel Silver. And those are names I know were actual producers. But there are other names like Tim Burton, John Carpenter. No, they don't give a shit. They're just getting a paycheck. They have their hand out, getting a paycheck.
Yeah, I would say typically I think that is the case. I do find it interesting that they're getting added on as producers this late into the game. And there's talks of them actually stepping in to do Secret Wars to direct. So that makes me wonder if if part of the changes and part of the setup was actually them stepping in story wise, because they did. Which, granted, they're not the writers. A lot of times they get credit for the story of the, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. But that was all Marcus and McFeely writing. But they did help shape the change in direction that, how they shifted what Joss Whedon had planned. So it makes me wonder if they did come in and try to do some shifting. We'll see. I will say, if there was ever like a Hail Mary get that the MCU could get to potentially make people excited, it would be the Russo brothers coming back to do a Marvel film. Now, you can make the argument that all the stuff they've done outside of Marvel has not been good or great.
What all have they done outside of that?
I mean, they produced shit. I can't think of shit tonight. This is gonna piss me off so bad. My mind is fried tonight, y'all. Chris Hemsworth, the Extraction. So they produced the Extraction films, but they didn't direct them. They didn't direct them. They did produce. So that was one of those like hands off, and we'll let you go do your thing. But yeah, I mean, they did Cherry, which was not good. There's something else they did that was not good. It was with Tom Holland, and I think where he was a soldier.
I completely forget that one.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
It's worth forgetting.
Okay.
But yeah, let's turn it to the chat real quick. First off, I have to address this person in my comics.
Oh.
There were comments. There was a second Top Gun. Max. I'm regretting so many things in life right now. IJP Mexican is coming in with, don't forget to smash that like button. Yes, please. If you have not hit the like button, please go hit it. We're hitting around 50 viewers right now between Twitter and YouTube. So swing on over into YouTube and smash that like button. Hit that little subscribe as well. Give it a little tickle. We'll appreciate it. Cannoli came in to say it's going to take a lot of goodwill. How about just make good movies without any messaging, and that'd be a good start. Completely agree. If you can get your characters right and stop trying to preach and just deliver a good story, that's really all we're asking for. So we do have LK in the house. Thanks, YouTube, for the notification. Hello, everybody. Hello, LK. No worries. YouTube's been weird. We were talking about it the other night, about how I didn't get notifications for some of my closest friends' streams that I'm usually watching all the time. So YouTube and StreamYard both are being super glitchy lately, and it's no fun. JD Petty, all personal feelings about Disney aside, I think the MCU has had its run, and it should have ended with dignity. Look, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think you're mostly right. I think they should have just wrapped up after Infinity War. If they wanted to do like a few small series and movies to kind of epilogue that portion out, great. And then I think they should have done a complete relaunch once they could start utilizing the X-Men and move forward. But, if that happened, we might have been getting the shitty stories we're getting now with the X-Men. And I'm still hoping for a really good X-Men film, because I'm sick of Dark Phoenix, how the films have been doing it. But I would love to see the Phoenix Saga cosmic, like how it's supposed to be with the Shi'ar and everything else. Like if we got that on film and it's done well.
It's Josh, you bring up a great point. They have no excuse at this point why they could not do it, because we have already gone cosmic. You've already introduced fucking Nowhere. You've introduced Ego. You've introduced all these other Eternal. You've introduced the fucking Eternals. You mean to tell me you can't do the Shi'ar Imperial Guard? You can't do the Corsair and his pirates? The Starjammers. It's like, no, you have no excuse now. You can do this,
dude. I want to see Gladiator just like punch the shit out of Juggernaut.
Yes,
like,
we got that in the animated series. I want to see it live action now.
Yeah, let's do it. We got LK. We have an Agatha show because the lunatics on social media and the shills went gaga for the character. Too often we listen to the loud voices on Twitter, and we should learn not to do that, because we learned that it doesn't really deliver money. Kyle Not Kevin with Comics Elite, but her song was so great. I want more of that, because it was Agatha all along, and I killed Sparky too. I mean, look, the song kind of slapped. I'm not gonna lie, but again, that doesn't mean we need a series. LK came in
Exactly.
as well with. Oh, we're gonna save this for later because we'll talk about something similar in a second. Comics news is kind of good, but it could also be bad. Codeman, they don't need to be the underdog. They need to stay true to the characterization of those heroes and villains. Cast good actors too, because they're making the 2000s Marvel look great. Yes. So, Drew, we just filmed our Marvelous Monday for X-Men 2000 last night, and that was a big conversation that we had. Was the quality of the actors and honestly the quality of the writing in that script. Even though it wasn't the most high energy or action packed film, it delivered it in so many other ways that our current films are not. Like a lot of the films these days just feel kind of lifeless, and there's so much context in that movie, so much nuance, and it's so efficient. Because one of the things we kept bringing up is like, dude, it's only like an hour and a half long, but
Yeah, hour 45, I think is what it was.
yeah, but
But
that's with credits.
with
The
credits,
hour
yeah,
45, yeah,
and it's amazing at that point. But yeah, but we talked about, I'll say it here, it had a great foundation. Yeah, like I said, the casting was fantastic, and without the great actors like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen to portray Magneto and Professor Xavier in those roles, we would not have had the franchise. I guarantee you, if those two had not been there, granted Hugh Jackman's great as Wolverine, but if we hadn't had those two, it would have failed. I guarantee it. We would not have had a franchise.
yeah. Ian brings up a good point, and I think it's kind of like I think it approaches everything. But he said, "I'm not convinced that not preaching is the way to go. Top Gun, Maverick, and Cobra Kai preach, but they do so in a way that isn't hateful. I feel like there's preaching, and I feel like there is presenting a moral story, like like a moral path. And I think we've always had, it's kind of like how people say, like, oh, get politics out of my comics. Politics have always been in comics, but what used to happen was you would get both sides. You would get a representation of, this is one reality and this is the other reality. And now it's very much a like, if you don't like this, then you're this. Or, we're gonna preach about look, we'll get stuff like we had in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania when Cassie's like on the teleprompter.
Oh, you want to talk about heavy-handed preaching? That one does it. It is fucking terrible.
Don't be a dick. You're just a dick. Yeah, not my favorite. Hey, IGP Mexican, X2 still makes my PP hard. It's by far still one of my favorite X-Men movies. By far. So I'm with you there, man. And we'll be covering that before too long in Marvelous Monday. Let's see. Oh, JD Petty. So Drew, mutant influencers don't get you fired up. Are you not looking for that new book coming out?
Wait a minute. Which one is that? Is that the one with Jubilee? Or is that
No, the one with Angel and Mark Russell's writing and
oh god, the X Factor. God damn it.
yeah.
I tried to block I tried to block that out as god damn it.
Right.
Oh.
LK, you're coming in with some comic talk. We're gonna have comic talk in a little bit, so I'm highlighting your comments because I really want to bring them up. But yeah, JD Petty is heading to bed. Have to head to bed. Have a good night, and remember, Mark Russell's X Factor is government sanctioned. Yeah, JD, have a good night, brother. We're about to move into comics, so make sure you come back and watch the replay.
Here's the thing about okay, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
I mean, we're pretty much
that.
Yeah, we're pretty much moving. Well, we will in a second, but I we focus so much on the MCU because it's the big comic book kind of medium in film right now. Like DC's kind of in a slump as they try to revamp back up, and we'll see if other things come out. But we've got in comics, you got the Energon universe that's kind of really spicing things up and kind of making comics fun, and we got a lot of great books coming from there. They're trying to transition that same energy into the films. When you've got two film series like G.I. Joe and Transformers that have never fully, I mean, I guess Transformers landed there for a while, but really kind of fell off. Do you think we're going to see hope that could come back as well and kind of deliver, put butts in the seats?
I want to think I have hope. I like to think so. I really do. I think and like a better term I just said, hope that these corporations like Hasbro, they're paying attention. They're paying attention to like the publication side. They're seeing what Skybound has done with GI Joe and Transformers by catering to the actual fans, by giving them what they want, by producing the characters in their actual true forms. Like if Hasbro isn't paying attention to the Kickstarter sales of their GI Joe run, they are stupid, and that's all I got to say. They are incredibly obtuse because that just shows you, okay, they are there and they're willing to give. They're going to give you money. They will. They're just winning an excuse for you to give them money. Honestly, we saw it. It took a Hugh Jackman wearing a Wolverine mask for us to give Hot Toys money. It's there.
Yeah. Well,
give the fans what they want, and they will come. They'll be there.
Don't mind me. I'm hiding my Scarlet Witch Hot Toys figure.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. Look, it's June. Okay, it's June. Give me a break. It makes me wonder because we've always kind of had, whatever the trend is that's going to serve as a tent pole, and like for the past decade or so, it was superhero movies, but those are really starting to fall off. And then even when you look at other brands that kind of delivered, Harry Potter has fallen off and is getting really questionable because they're trying to push J.K. Rowling out. You have Lord of the Rings, which has completely lost its goodwill and graces of its fandom. It makes me wonder what could come in that's going to be big enough to try to help boost this back up. And I genuinely don't know, because even original stuff that's coming out, people aren't going to see. Stuff that's even considered good, like it's just kind of fallen by the wayside, and people are waiting for streaming. And they had the announcement, the movie chain that just closed, Alamo Drafthouse.
Yeah, and then swiftly bought back up by Sony, which is all the more interesting.
It is. I'll be curious to see how that turns out. But I'm kind of looking at film, and I'm watching these theaters that are struggling, and it's very similar to comics right now. All these comic shops are struggling, and I don't think we're ever going to completely lose either. I don't think we're ever going to lose films. I don't think we're ever going to lose comics, but I think the way we receive this material and the impact that it has is gonna just completely alter. And I think we might get down to, you might have one movie theater in your town, and that's about it. I mean, I'm in a small town, so we only have one anyways, but the town that I drive to for a movie theater, they've got like 5 or 6, and I could see even towns of that size getting down to just one. So it's going to be interesting, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Also here in Indy, we've Kyle, not Kevin, will attest to this. I mean, we've got a lot of movie theater choices here, a lot. And one we like going to is Flick's Brewhouse. Flick's Brewhouse, they're another chain like an Alamo Drafthouse, but not as many, not even near as many as Alamo did. But they're fun to go to. You have full meals, full bar, and you can enjoy new movies as well as classic films. And all it takes is just the right theater going experience, and it will come. That's all I got to say. It doesn't take much. Just don't preach to us. Just don't tell us your political views and how the other political view is wrong. That's all you got to do. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Get the activists out, put the entertainers in.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah, I'm highlighting some comments real quick, and then we'll go through it. LK is coming through with a slight correction on the Alamo Drafthouse story. It was only a franchisee who sold or who closed the theaters. The rest of them are fine as far as I know. That's what Sony bought. I mean, that's a plus. But I mean, we're seeing stuff about even like AMC is struggling, and that's what I go to. We have a quote unquote like bougie movie theater. I hate going to it because it's one of those, you sit down and eat dinner and watch the movie. If it's a comedy, I'm fine. But I hate that there are people walking in front of me to serve food. I hate that there's people kind of like eating and talking. Because if it's a serious movie or something I really want to watch, I'm like, shut the fuck up. But if I'm going to see
film, you gotta read the subtitles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If I'm going to see a comedy, like I'll go there. But I'm kind of an AMC guy. I've got the A-list pass. I think it's economic. If you watch a lot of movies, it's a great deal. Like I can see 3 movies a week for free, and I'm paying like $25 a month for that. Plus, I get discounts on concession stand. Not that I need the concession stand, but whatever. Get that bunch of crunch. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting time that we're living in, and I'm curious to see what's going to kind of pull everything out of this rut for movie theaters. And I kind of think it might end up being like anime, or these video game translations that are coming out, because that seems to be what's hitting right now. But we'll see. I do have Codeman coming in. This is more of a comic conversation, but he said they need to relaunch the Buffy comics again because it's pretty stagnant from Boom. Then again, Disney owns. Disney owns Buffy now. I don't think I realized that.
Wait, do they?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. It was a Fox property, so I don't know if Fox lost it. Shoot, I didn't even think about that. What the crap? Huh. I mean, they're still working on a reboot for television. And that's been going on for a while now, but I think that's I
know they talked about doing like a race swap of Buffy and everything, which was
I think
that's original.
Yeah, I think that got shut down pretty quick. But in general, I think the problem with Buffy is everyone's going to look at it and go like, "Oh, it's a show known for having a strong, powerful female lead," and they're going to lean too heavily in that. And not have this, I mean, look, there were times where that show was not subtle, but they didn't try to make her a Mary Sue. Like part of the reason Buffy works for me is there's plenty of mistakes that the characters make, and that show, especially Angel, leans very heavily into the consequences of their actions. And I feel like you would just have
the episodes I saw, I preferred Angel over Buffy. That was me. I was more of an Angel
for sure.
guy.
100%. I'm right there with you.
But the $1 million question, Joshy Poo, is: do you bring back Joss Whedon for this? And if you did, do you think he'd be veering much more into being a Mary Sue and not a strong yet vulnerable character?
If it were me personally, I would say yes. You cannot do Buffy without Joss. I would say you can't do Firefly without Joss. No, Hollywood is not going to bring him back. It's just not going to happen. They're like they led the lamb to slaughter. He's done for as far as the industry. Well, I say that, but Will Smith is making a comeback, so who knows? Who knows? I mean,
and Hollywood's forgiven Roman Polanski God knows how many times, and Woody Allen knows how many times, and how many other pedophiles how many times?
Right. He wasn't even a pedophile though. He was just
he just a serial, like he just
hooking up with people. Yeah.
I mean, like behind his wife.
Yeah. So
say he was the ultimate male feminist. It's like, so yeah, there you go.
He appreciated women, all right.
Oh yes, he did. Charisma Carpenter, but yeah.
Oh, we're not even gonna get into that. There's so much backstory. There's so much backstory there that never gets talked about. Her getting fired wasn't even his call. So.
Oh, I thought it was his call.
No, it was Warner Brothers. Or no, it was the WB. So, just real quick, this came out in an interview with James Marsden, whichever one it is that played Spike. But he was in an interview, and he revealed that when Buffy was ending, and they said they wanted Spike to come over, but they weren't going to increase the budget. So they pretty much said like, it's charisma or they pretty much had to say like, hey, it's got to be either Charisma or James. So we want to keep Charisma. And WB was like, well, you're going with Spike. So
that's fair.
But
Spike was a better character.
Yeah, fair. I think a lot of people would disagree with that, but I think at that moment, yes.
Look, I'll say Charisma. She's a very fucking beautiful character, but as far as a charismatic character goes, he was great at. Spike was it. He was just
delivered.
He was an asshole, and I like
it. Was the boost of energy they needed for season 5 too. So
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, let's go ahead and kind of shift this conversation to the comics, because I want to. Max, but it's about time we had a man take over the mantle of Buffy. I'm here. I'm ready. Okay, and see, Ian thinks Whedon would go full woke. I don't know. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he could let himself do that. And it's not about going woke. I think it's just that this man was so hypercritical about the scripts that were coming out that even the people writing for them, he would take their scripts and rewrite them and then push them out and be like, all right, there's your script. So I don't know. I don't know. And he's always been woke, yes, to a degree, but he's also the one that was making jokes like dirty little slut. And, I from a writing standpoint, he seems pretty balanced. He seems to understand that there are different thought processes than his own. Because I mean, I would say Angel in particular, the entire show has a theme of a thematic story of faith and like almost religion, faith and being saved and redemption. And Joss Whedon's an atheist, but I would have sworn the dude was a Christian just watching his stuff. So who knows?
It takes speaking of, if we're getting ready to get into comics, speaking of Mark Russell, where he failed in his religious takes with whatever the hell that was, with Superman and Jesus being roommates, and Joss Whedon's take on religion is that there has to be a respect for the religion. You may not agree with it, you may not like it at all, but there has to be a respect for it. Mark Russell has no respect for religion or organized religion or Christianity at all. That's his take on Jesus and his comic book series. That's where Joss Whedon succeeds, because he has a respect for it. Fair.
Yeah, he really does. Ian put, but did you see the Nevers? I didn't see the Nevers. And he put, it was all of Whedon's sloppiest traits and wokeness combined with just a few of his strengths. But didn't he only get to like episode 2, and then that's when he got kicked, and they just kept the show going, and then it got canceled?
Maybe I never saw it.
Yeah. And then Codeman put, all the Buffyverse actors praised him until a couple years ago, which was odd to see. A lot of them still praise him. Like if you go and you talk to Alan Tudyk or Nathan Fillion, if you talk to a number of the Angel actors, a number of even the Buffy actors, they don't say bad things about him. I think the main ones that kind of...
That's friendship and loyalty right there. That is friendship and loyalty. And case in point, I'll say Bill Cosby comes to mind. The one person who had his back through thick and thin was the comedian Sinbad. And Sinbad's like, no, you'll never catch me saying anything bad, derogatory at all about Bill. He said Bill was there. He had my side. He was there guiding me my whole career. He had my neck. He was there with me through thick and thin. I will never ever denounce Bill for what he's done for me. It's like, so that shows, despite whatever you may say about them, it shows loyalty and friendship right there.
Yeah,
that's hard to come by.
Yeah, I think the only ones that I can think of that actually came out and spoke poorly of him, I mean, Charisma came out, but there's so much stuff lingering there. And again, that whole situation with her is super convoluted, but she came out. You had Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Dawn, come out, and I think Amber Benson. And then when Sarah Michelle Gellar was asked about it, because, I mean, if you're going to ask anyone about Joss Whedon, you're going to ask the lead of the show that he's most known for. And I think her comment was just something along the lines of, he doesn't define what I've accomplished, and just to kind of like stop the conversation. But
I was thinking you're going to say Christy Swanson, because you say Buffy, I think Christy Swanson, but
you and maybe 3 other people, Drew. Jesus Christ. Christy Swanson, get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. Let's go ahead and pop into some comics news real quick. Before I pull up our first slide, there is a comment that LK delivered earlier. And it is, in today's Marvel news, Sensational She-Hulk canceled at issue 10. I know, I'm shocked too.
But I think they're bringing it back. I know they said it's canceled, but I think,
my God, shut your mouth.
No, I'm serious. I really think I read or heard like they are bringing her back again, written by Rainbow Rowell again. Yeah.
But Rainbow's the one that said like this is the end. We're done.
I'm pretty certain that they're bringing it back. I'll double check, but I'm fairly certain they're.
Talk to your peeps. If they do it again, this will be the 3rd time they've done this with relaunching She-Hulk. with the same, at least the same writer. I'm not going to say full same creative team, but just that's stupid. So, hey,
it's a sure thing. You have a new number one. It's a sure thing.
Yeah. Sure. They've got to stop. Like if we've learned anything from Titan Comics and what they're doing with Conan, it's that you don't need these number ones. You just need a good storyteller, a good artist, and a good story. But
okay, you know what? I think I was wrong. Okay, I think
okay,
I was wrong. Maybe it was the previous relaunch, the number one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but possibly.
It's with great sadness. Bullshit.
Great sadness. I mean, look, I cried. I cried when I got the She-Hulk news. I was so sad. So sad.
All I'm gonna say, this series was destined for the shitter. When he had the legacy issue, I think it was I forget what legacy issue it was, but it was half the comic was She-Hulk, the Invisible Woman, and whoever else in a book club, eating their food, getting their finger food from the kitchen, trying to discuss the book, and then discovering, oh, we never read the book. Wah wah. I couldn't fucking believe it. This is your legacy issue, and this is what you're wasting this art, this story, this paper on. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not a fan. Do not pass go. Do not click $200.
I know Max remembers. I know Kyle remembers. Max has to remember that.
Yeah, I look. The sad thing is, and hold on, someone else just put this. Just like the Orlando on Scarlet Witch. At some point, we're gonna hopefully start getting good creators again. I mean, like it's bound to happen, right? It has to happen at some point.
Well, I honestly, eventually, yes. Whether it's, I mean, I don't know if it'll be next week, next month, next year, but eventually, a new cycle of creators will come in. They will, but that's going to take new editorial, new people in charge to be bringing in these new voices, editors and people in charge who realize, who know the true voices of these characters. They know who they truly are, and bringing in creators who respect those characters and respect them for what they've been for the last 60 fucking years, and not they're not just a reflection of that creator in their private life.
Yeah, I agree. You did say these new voices. Is it Marvel voices?
You can never go wrong with those. Those are always stunning and brave and overpriced. Yeah.
And they're the best assists ever.
Every month.
Yeah. Just to kind of comment on this, Yuri's comment here, just like Orlando and Scarlet Witch, that we are now on book number 3 with him relaunching for Scarlet Witch, because we had Scarlet Witch, and I think it did 12 issues, and then it relaunched as Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and then we had that little run, and now we're back to Scarlet Witch number 1,
which I think the previous one got canceled an issue early. Now they're bringing it back again. It's like, yeah. I don't. This is the case of like a degenerate gambler at the roulette table who no one is telling no to. No one's telling him to stop. It's like, nope, let him keep digging that hole. Keep going.
Yep. LK's coming in with another comic comment. And when are people going to stop buying Tom King books? Wonder Woman 10 was so cringe. Have you read Wonder Woman number 10 yet? Oh,
not yet. I like I said, I read a few this week so far. Green Lantern was actually really good. Nightwing was actually fucking good. I was legitimately surprised. First time in 2 years had a good Nightwing issue, and the Batman actually righting a lot of the wrongs that have been made the last 5 years or so, and I'm pleasantly surprised by that.
That is surprise worthy. If I were a betting man, I would not have bet money on those being good. So,
Yeah, same.
Yeah. We do have a Buffy comment here, and it's Ian. He said, I feel the Buffy comics have been up and down since they started. Some really good, like seasons 10 and 11. Some really bad, like seasons 8 and 12. Man, I am right there with you. But I did love that. I think it was season 10 and 11 of Angel and Faith that Christos Gage did. Like for me, that was top tier. But even Buffy season 10 and 11 was good. Some of those I need to revisit to check back in. And then the current Boom series started off with so much process or potential, and then it just really went to meh. So so Drew, our topic for comics tonight, there's another comic book that Marvel has that's coming to an end with its current creative team, and it's Spider-Man. So Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. they're ending their run on Spider-Man this fall. How does that make you feel?
Oh, I'm just appalled. I am just completely appalled. I am flabbergasted, shocked, because this has been the greatest and bestest book Marvel's produced, and this has been JRJR at the top of his game ever in his whole career. And Zeb, I'm sorry, I'm fucking lying. This run of Amazing Spider-Man has been fucking terrible. It's not the worst run. I think J. Michael Straczynski's run with the One More Day storyline that takes the cake. But this is clearly down toward the bottom. It is absolutely one of the worst, specifically for what Zeb Wells and Camp have done with Mary Jane, have done with Aunt May, have done with Tombstone, have done with JRJR, have done with Peter. What they've done with everyone has just been disgusting and sick. And what they've done with Black Cat, it's been appalling. And it's amazing how we were back on the right track with Nick Spencer, how he finished his run, and then it veers right off course again, so swiftly. It really makes me wish the dickhead who was in charge, who wanted to say, no, we're going to undo everything Nick Spencer did and put it back on the wrong course. I want that fucker fired. It's like that. I want this agitator out of here. You're fired. I don't give a shit what you think. We're fixing the glitch. Nick was fixing the glitch, and no, Zeb and JRGR glitched it again, and making Peter an absolute asshole, and Mary Jane a super powered just bitch, and just an absolute bitch to Peter and everyone. This whole run, it's disgusting, and making Black Cat, I don't know what at this point with Black Cat. I don't know what the hell she is anymore, and and making Peter like one of the biggest cucks on the planet. It's disgusting. I've never been a big Spider-Man fan, but this made me even less of a Spider-Man fan at this point after this run. And anyone that says JRJR is at the top of his game or this is some of the best work he's done, you are smoking crack and you are huffing paint and eating paint chips, because clearly you have never, ever, ever seen his work he did with Uncanny X-Men back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s. You've never seen his work on Daredevil, because this shit comes nowhere close to that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I don't keep up with Spider-Man. I've been somewhat keeping up just because of all the drama that's coming in around it, and people reacting and responding. But it makes me wonder if this is actually going to end up going down as people's least favorite run in Spider-Man.
I think so. It's going to be, because we all know One More Day really was the one it really made fans non-fans and non-collectors anymore after that run. And but a run like this, it could, after what they did to Mary Jane and Peter in this, pretty much going back down that One More Day path, it making him the biggest asshole on the planet. Which I think, did they ever resolve or discuss what happened to that city in Pennsylvania that blew up or disappeared or whatever?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, yeah, I don't recall if they ever touched base with that again. But no, Zeb Wells and JRGR pretty much, they just took a heaping shit on top of Spider-Man and are calling it a day. And they just said, well, our job's done here. Yeah, congrats.
Yeah. Yuri's got a point here. He put, does it really matter as long as Nick Lowe is still editor? I mean, no. It's what we're seeing in the big two. Like, we're going to have to get these editors, out of it. We're going to have to bring other people in and get them to kind of oversee these stories, because these editors, it's just a weird situation right now. You've got editors that are forcing stories. Writers aren't even getting to pitch stories anymore. So you're not getting those creative juices coming in. You're not getting that synergy of people working together. You have writers writing stories that they don't want to write, so they're not going to care. And then you have the editors not really taking any accountability for the stuff that doesn't work. But that's also why some of these writers are actually okay writers. They're just getting a shit hand, and they've got people saying, "Oh, you're crappy writers," when they're really not. They're just having to deal with crappy editors. But that's why you see so many of these bad writers getting work after work after work after work. And then you'll see them go do an indie book that kills it. So,
yeah. Case in point, Joshua Williamson. Honestly, I'm perfectly honest. His work at DC, I could not give two shits about. I think it is fucking. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's mediocre. It's very lackluster and pandering. Very pandering. But when you read his runs at the Energon universe with Cobra Commander and Duke, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? I want to party with this guy. This guy's awesome. And it really just goes to show you that the editors are really destroying things there at Marvel and DC. The wrong people are calling the shots.
Yeah. Yep. Is there anyone that you would like to see take over Spider-Man? Like, is there someone that you're hoping gets the book so they can hopefully try to repair or save what's going on with the character?
Honestly, you know what would be really cool, really good, because I really feel like he's getting the shaft at DC. I would love to see Jeremy Adams take over Amazing Spider-Man.
That would be a big steal, like a big steal.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel like they are giving him the shaft at DC. I really feel like he is not getting the titles or the credit that he deserves, and the wrong jackasses are getting more work than he is, which is bullshit. Like calling Kelly Jackson Lansing. I don't know what devil's deal or what blackmail they have on editors, but they should not be getting the work that he is getting. They should not be getting more work than he is, and I really feel like Marvel should steal him away to do Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's if a certain publisher hasn't already, potentially poached him.
Oh. Very true. Very true.
Yep. Gosh, that was what, a month, 2 months ago that I told you guys they were kind of reaching out to certain people. But I'll just put it this way: Ghost Machine has approached some of the bigger names at both Marvel and DC that are still working there.
And they've gotten those bigger names.
Yeah, but I mean, even outside of the ones that we know, like are working on books, for like their phase 2, have gone and talked to more people to pretty much try to steal them. But Jeremy Adams was one of those people that I know they approached, and I know that Jeff Johns was having serious conversations with to steal. So
that's good. He knows. He knows.
Yeah, I mean, and he knows because this is what he lived. This is what Pete Tomasi, like all these guys that are there, this is what they were living with the big two. They were dealing with the hey, we want to do this story, or like DC or Marvel come to him and say, hey, we want to do the story, and them saying, sure, let's figure it out. And they'd work on it, and then come back to DC or Marvel and say, hey, this is what we want to do, and it was no response. And then try to get in touch and try to get in touch and try to get in touch. And, 3 months later, still crickets. It's like DC and Marvel would ghost them. So the moment they went to go do other things, suddenly DC and Marvel were like, well, hey, what about this project? Like, dude, you didn't respond for 3 months. Like, what do you expect? Pete Tomasi went almost, I think, 7-8 months without getting really any work at Marvel.
Yeah.
So he finally was like, all right, F you guys. And he landed a deal right after he was supposed to start an ongoing, and Marvel got a little pissy with him, but he was like, look, I've got a family to feed, and you guys kind of left me hung out to dry for 8 months. 8 months. So yeah, I mean, they get what they deserve, and I can't feel sorry for them.
Yeah, I feel no sympathy for DC or Marvel at this point, none at all whatsoever. These are all self-inflicted wounds that they have done to themselves, and they should know better at this point, but they can't help but keep shooting themselves in the foot. And that stump is well beyond gone at this point. And Aaron and I have talked about it. The Marvel and DC we wanted to work for, that is long gone. Honestly,
Oh, agreed.
that DC rebirth I would love to have worked for, that is gone.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last shot. And Marvel, God, I'm trying to think when I would have liked to work at Marvel. I don't know when the fuck that would have been last 10, 15 years. But
back in the Max days. Back in the Max days.
There we go. Yeah, Marvel Max days. There we go. Yeah, that would have been great. But those days are gone. The people calling the shots, they're gone, or they've drank the woke Kool-Aid. And the people that clearly seeing the people that they're hiring, the people that they're promoting and pushing, do not want to be associated with any of those names. No.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
There's no way. I would have too much self-respect than to have a title right alongside a T. Franklin book or a Vita Ayala or a Leah Williams or Stephanie Phillips book. I could not do it. I have too much self-respect to do that. Can't. Won't.
Is there an art, like say Jeremy Adams were writing Spider-Man, is there an artist you would like to see with him?
Ooh. So when you do that, you got to think of someone who can do, the great acrobatic stuff, because that's one thing we've been missing lately with J.R. because he can't do that anymore. Doesn't know how to do it. But that's I know he wouldn't. Well, it won't happen. I would love to have seen. I would love to have seen like giving Daniel Warren Johnson a shot at doing art. Yeah, just doing the art for it.
I don't know if he would be right for Spider-Man, but I think he would make an interesting Spider-Man.
And I would say if you want to bring names back, bring Humberto Ramos back on the art for Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
Jeremy Adams, Humberto Ramos. That'd be huge. That'd be huge.
That would be.
Because at least with him, you're going to get more than 3 issues before you get someone else to come in and do the art chops. Marco Cicchetto.
Yeah.
It's the thing is with me, it's like finding an artist who is going to be consistent and reliable, who will be there for a run, not just 3, 6, 10 issues before calling it quits or needing a break. Honestly, maybe a Dan Mora. Bring Dan Mora over.
Oh, damn. That would actually be good. That's someone else that Ghost Machine has been talking to.
Good. I truly hope Ghost Machine steals all these names. And
if they get these guys, it's gonna be bad for the big two if they just swoop all these people up. But at the same time, Ghost Machine has to deliver. Like they've got to be able to put quality out. So, which they are so far. They really are. But you've got to stay consistent, and you got to be able to get people to jump on board with what you're doing. So,
yes.
That is pretty much the show for tonight. I do have a few more comments highlighted because there was a Whedon conversation that kind of got picked back up, and I was like, "Oh, this is too good not to comment on," because I'm a big nerd. But Codeman came in and put Dollhouse is one of Whedon's best and highly underrated. Eliza Dushku shined in that show. I would say yes and no. Dollhouse for me was very up and down. I think there are episodes that are some of the best episodes of TV that Joss Whedon never did. But there were a lot of low points. And look, for me, there's another comment here. LK put season 1 was really good, but it was limited premise and it completely fell apart for me in season 2. See, I disagree with that. I thought season 1 was a mess and it came together in season 2. But did you ever watch Dollhouse, Drew?
No, I knew of it. There's something I'm either one of a couple of things. One, that it didn't really seem that interesting to me, or I didn't really understand the story, or just maybe I was in a time and place where like I was too busy with other things to watch it.
Do you remember? I think it was like on FX or USA or something, but there's a show called The Pretender. I think it was called The Pretender. It was kind of like that. You had a bunch of people that could essentially become whoever and whatever they wanted.
Fun story. Fun story about The Pretender.
Yeah,
my high school journalism teacher. His best friend, and he was a creator of the show The Pretender.
Not too shabby. I remember I would have to go back and revisit it because I don't remember if it was actually any good. Like I don't know if it'd hold up if I watched it today.
Well, it wasn't because I rewatched it not too long ago, but I do. It was an interesting concept. A guy who had a different job, every week. He'd be a stock car racer one week, and he'd be a model the next. It's like, okay, this is interesting. This is cool.
So that is kind of what Dollhouse was, but that's not fully what it was intended to be. So it's supposed to be people that, you know, instead of serving their criminal sentence, they could become a quote unquote doll for the dollhouse. And they would, instead of serving 20, 30 years in prison, they could serve 5 years for the dollhouse. They'd have their entire memory wiped, and then they would essentially become whoever for these high paying customers. And it was supposed to lean. So originally, it was supposed to be on FX instead of Fox. It's supposed to lean really heavily into just desires that people have and kind of almost sexual deviancies. But then when it moved to Fox, that kind of got pulled back a lot. And there's supposed to be like a whole kind of like suspense story involved with it as well, which they kept. But Fox decided they wanted to turn it into, what can Eliza Dushku be this week? So she's like an interpreter one week. She's like a midwife one week. It was just like The Pretender. And it was fine. But how they were originally ending the pilot episode, they made Whedon push off. And that's how he had to end the first season. So you spend an entire first season not even getting to know Eliza Dushku's character, but she starts remembering who she really is, and that's supposed to be like the arc of the story. So you don't get any of that at all the first season, and you have a main character that you know nothing about, that you can't connect with. She's just a different person every week. So you're like, okay, that's fine.
See, okay, now where the Pretender succeeded and where that failed is that in each episode of the Pretender, you got more and more of his backstory when he was a kid, going through this program when he was pretty much imprisoned, and taught these things. It's like, okay, you're learning bit by him, but if you don't really get that, it's like you can't really, you have to, with your protagonist, you have to be drawn to them. You have to go along with, you have to sympathize with them, and understand their follies and understand their path, and just want to root for them. If you can't really find that, if you can't find those elements to grasp upon that protagonist, you're not going to have a good protagonist, like a better term.
Yeah, no, agreed. Like it's hard to want to root for people. And even, I would say the good thing about this show is you've got a lot of really incredible supporting characters, and they kind of helped carry it. But you didn't really have a lead to grasp onto. And then in season 2, you do get that, and they really kind of hit the the gas pedal with it. But I think they were like 5 episodes in, and they were told like, hey, we're gonna let you finish out the season, but then the show's over after that. So then he was trying to like quickly just wrap all the loose ends up. So I can understand why people might say it's a mess, but there are specific episodes within that, like Man on the Street, Spy in the House of Love, Belonging, just great hours of TV. Like Belonging, there's an episode called The Attic. Like 10 out of 10. But yeah, so Dollhouse, I mean, just know you're gonna watch season 1 and be like, yeah, I don't know. And then you'll hit episodes in season 2 and be like, holy shit, this could have been amazing. And that's kind of, I think, what it goes for. Ian put Gotta Disagree, Codeman, Firefly for me is the best, Buffy second, and Angel is third. Oh, Angel third. What the heck?
Whoa.
I think I would reverse all of that. And look,
Yes.
I love Firefly, but you only have 13 episodes. You hated Firefly?
Yeah, I no.
Oh, well, I mean, you can have your opinions, but thanks for showing up tonight, Drew. See you later. I'm kidding.
Oh, hey.
I loved Firefly. I thought it was one of those that had potential, and it never got to fully realize it. But for me, I liked Angel better. I thought it was a better series. I think sometimes Buffy had better arcs and some better individual episodes, but I think Buffy had more low points for me that just didn't work as well. Sometimes the campiness of Buffy was a little too much as well. But yeah, and then he just said you should definitely check out Firefly and Serenity. Skip the comics; they're not good except for those left behind. So, but yeah, I'll agree with that. Drew, anything else you want to add on for tonight before we wrap it up and call it a night?
Let's see, I'm looking at the last comment there by Fear Monarch, but no Spaceballs too. Let's just say, look, let's be honest. We got to be perfectly honest here. The Mel Brooks of 1990 to now is not the Mel Brooks from before 1990. Let's be perfectly honest here. No one with the right mindset can honestly say that Dracula Dead and Loving It or Robin Hood Men in Tights is better than Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, hell, Spaceballs, the first one, History of the World Part 1. They are not. And those trump those films in anything he's done in the 90s and beyond. And it's History of the World Part 2, give me a break. No, that is fucking terrible. And the fact that they're even like trying to do a Spaceballs 2, it just, I'm terrified. I am horrified, petrified, stupefied, mystified at this idea of doing this with Mel Brooks this far along in his career. This is not the same Mel Brooks. He does not have that creative fire that to do this.
Yeah. I mean, look, I always hope for the best, but I think we've seen with so many of these creators coming back that it for the most part has not turned out well.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I mean, case in point, I mean Lucas, Senior Spielbergo, coming back to Indiana Jones, it's been just a downward trend, and
yeah,
it just doesn't work.
I mean, look, they tried it with
Ridley
Twin
Scott with the Aliens films.
Yep. They even for TV. They tried it with Twin Peaks, bringing David Lynch back to do Twin Peaks. That did not turn out well. I mean, they did the whole X-Files return. Was that any good? Did
anyone remember that?
I don't remember that. I mean, they tried it with Will and Grace. It was okay.
I think forgot about that.
Yeah, I think you just good things are okay to be left in the past. Like,
yes,
they're there to revisit. We have streaming and physical media to revisit it. You can.
Shit! They brought back Murphy Brown. You remember that? They brought back Murphy Brown for like a season.
Yeah, totally forgot.
Terrible.
Couldn't tell you.
Oh man.
So, yeah. As much as I'd love for that to be good, I'm not holding my breath. Also, History of the World Part 1, we had a high school teacher show us that. Then he got fired for showing us that. So
I love that movie. It has great moments. It has some kind of silly moments. Well, it's very silly. The whole film is silly, but like, I mean, I love that film. And the kicker, the best scene is the Spanish Inquisition. That is the best scene. When you have
also, I didn't know that we originally had 15 commandments, and then oops.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's great.
Oh, I need to go rewatch that now. But
Jesus, yes. What? Nothing. Jesus, yes. What?
Oh God, those are the good old days.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say before we close out? And if not, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick. I am posting and sharing nothing about my comic book work. And there will be some big announcements for Chicago Fan Expo in August. Hopefully a big, huge announcement for July. Can't share anything about that just yet, but it should be huge and awesome. Huge. And some bigger stuff for October. And got some big things coming down the pipeline, guys.
Yeah. Not joking. There's like, I think 4 or 5 things that I know of that Drew can't talk about yet that I'm just like itching to just start talking about. So
you're telling me it's freaking nuts.
I know you're the one working on them, and I'm just like, God, why can't we? It sucks that I can't talk about this.
It sucks that a lot of these scripts I've written over a year, 2 years ago. Like at this point, I think over a year ago, I'm like, oh shit, I did write that. I forgot about that one. What's going on with that one?
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
So make sure you give him a follow and just keep tabs on everything that's coming out. And of course, we'll be giving you updates whenever we can update on certain things. But good stuff there. And then just a reminder for the channel, guys, we do have membership tiers. Some of these are going to start soon. So we do have Tina Pops 99 cents. Don't forget, anytime, look, you don't have to be a member to request this. You just won't see it unless you're at least a Tina Pops member. Anytime you want Tina's take on something, you just have to put it in the comments, not the live chat. I might miss it. So put it in the actual comments, and Tina will give her take on that or whatever that topic is. But we have the $2.99 membership tier. That's McDizzy Pop. We will have a McDizzy stream coming up either this Saturday or next Saturday. The reason I'm saying either is because we're also going to have a Only Josh stream coming back, and I'm partnering with some people on that. So I've talked to one person, and I've gotten a confirmation from them, and it's Max. And I'm talking to 2 other people, and one of those other people is a friend that I've never had on my stream before, but she is a therapist that specializes in soldiers or policemen that have, either PTSD or trouble transitioning back from a soldier life to a civilian life, or the wives of soldiers or policemen, so they can kind of share kind of the struggles they face of being at home and sometimes being the leader of the house while their husband is away, or even if it's just out during the day. But this episode of Only Josh is going to be focused on men's mental health awareness, because as much as we talk about June being Pride Month, it is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think there needs to be a conversation about that, because I think it's a real problem that we see in the world today and people don't talk about it. So two membership streams coming up soon. And then of course with McDizzy, you're just going to get debauchery and insults and stuff. And then we have the Riz Factor $9.99. That's going to give you access to the Riz Factor show, which I plan on doing something for Acolyte as Rizzy Ricky Rich. And then it gives you a lot of insight into just kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff that I'm working on. And then it'll let you get access to watch alongs that I do, which we're still setting up through Discord. So just know that those are there for you. And yeah, we'd love to see you come on board. But with that, if you're looking for me, you can find me at Joshua L. McDonald or at By Popped, and come hang out, come say hello, and then make sure you're back here next Tuesday to give us a hard time and make the chat a lot of fun. But until then, go do nerd things. Don't do anything illegal, and have fun, kids. We'll see you next week.
Get the fuck